Family Crisis Centers is a center that helps children and adults facing domestic violence and human trafficking. It serves 17 Iowa counties in northwest Iowa. And just last year, more than 46,000 people called the center's hotline. FCC staff spent more than 13,000 hours supporting people on those calls. Staff are available to answer phone calls and text 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. But the center also offers assistance in person. FCC staff say family is the foundation for a child's well-being, and they want to help in custody situations to make that child feel loved and safe. And that's why they're working to make a smoother transition to shared custody of kids. KTIV's Taylor Deckert has more on a new space that's working to do just that.
We had a couple of kids in the other day, and they said it felt like home.
Families need visitation services for several reasons.
Any situation where parents are separated from their children for any reason related to abuse or neglect. It could be that they're still living with a parent, or they may be living with a relative or a foster parent.
This new visitation center in Sioux Center can serve as a safe place for kids in any conversations had between parents. There are toys, games, cozy chairs, all in a home-like atmosphere.
They get to talk about the fun track they got to go around, or the tree in the middle of the building, and that takes a little bit of anxiety and edge off.
With FCC's Family Visitation and Exchange Services, the organization hopes to address any challenges the children may face. The goal is to keep the peace between the two parties, so they use two separate parking lots and two separate entrances.
We work with families that have restraining orders where there's no opportunity for no contact. We use staggered arrival and departure times, so that way they have no opportunity whether to honor that no contact order with the courts.
FCC has trained staff to allow for supervised visitations and exchanges.
Those staff really take communication over for the parents. So if there's violence in that relationship, or the parents just are struggling to get along, our visitation and exchange center staff can really be that middle person.
The entire building is secured so no one can gain access to areas without an employee present. All of these services are free to families to make sure money is not a barrier to promote a healthy relationship for these families.
This is because we're here to serve the child.
In Sioux Center, Taylor Deckert, KTIV News 4.
The Visitation Center started about a year and a half ago for families who really needed it. Now FCC is ready to open it to the community. FCC continues to work with families throughout their situation, like making referrals for parents and kids to other resources that could be helpful. That could include therapy, counseling, financial assistance, parenting classes, or attorney mediation. To learn more on how to use the center, simply check out this story at KTIV.com.